I'm Rachel Boudreau. I am a senior right now. I would describe my work as kind of a visual storytelling. I like to make sure that all of my work has some sort of story behind it, either characters or kind of the environment is telling something. But I never just want it to be kind of nothing. I want there to be some sort of grander idea behind it, which is like what all art has, but I don't know. I love stories, so I always want there to be something of that in my work. Over my 4 years here at Keene, I feel like my work has kind of changed and adapted as I've learned more with the program. I'm a dual BFA, so that means that I'm both a BFA of graphic design and studio art. So as I have learned in both kind of those disciplines, I take aspects of each and apply it to my work. So any sort of like framing that I might learn in graphic design will affect my composition and my studio work. So just kind of that dual discipline has allowed me to approach both sides of my work as from like a new lens almost. And then obviously, the normal, you learn different skills and you fix kind of any problems in your work that you had before just because you didn't know the proper techniques.
I do most of my sketching digitally just because it's a lot easier for me to adjust things. Because especially with like a traditional sketchbook, if you erase too much, the paper starts to fray and it doesn't fully erase. But with digital, if I don't like something, I can just like turn it off. And that's why with all of my other pieces that I'm building for at least the studio side, I'm drafting them all, even though they're going to be paintings, digitally. And I have a projector that I'm going to just essentially project the sketch and then have the base so that I can start painting. And it will take away a lot of the like process time of having to transfer a digital sketch over, and things might, like, proportions don't always come out right.
I've been Rachel's advisor for, I think, since she was like a freshman. And it's super interesting because she came in 2019, right when everything was kind of getting shut down with COVID. I think it was 2019, I guess 2020. But and I was actually teaching a drawing one class, which is completely out of the realm of what I normally teach. And Rachel and Lauren were actually both of my students in that class. And we, kind of bonded then. And so I've worked with Rachel for like the last 4 years, like the whole time she's been at Keene State. And I think like what's interesting with her out of the bunch of students is that she's actually a dual major. So she has been like merging together like stuff from her graphic design practice with her studio art practice. And now again is like working on a series of prints that'll be in the exhibition. And they're very like illustrated feeling. And so it'll be like such a different feel from the rest of the student work. So it'll be exciting to see it too.
Being a dual BFA is, I'm not going to say it's all sunshine and rainbows. It's definitely not something for the faint of heart. You are doing double the work. You're making two completely different shows. There's not a lot of overlap, so you're really doing two wildly different things. And you're going to be busier rather than just kind of not really coasting, because all art majors have a lot of work. But in my brain, they're very separate types of things. So you have to be able to plan your days in a way so that you can get both works done. So whenever people ask me about the dual, I always have to like remind them that like it's not recommended. They really do recommend that you specialize in one. You can do it, but you kind of have to have this like special brand of crazy to be able to do it, because you're doubling your workload and then in some cases tripling it if you have to make certain things for different classes. I kind of just let what I'm making kind of drive how I'm feeling. If my painting is fighting me, I'm not gonna have the best times, but then, sometimes you're just so caught up in what you're doing, you're suddenly like, wow, I made that. My process for the senior show, it's a lot of planning because I need a plan to do anything. So my process has mostly been starting at the idea, because if I don't have an idea and I'm not excited about it, I'm not going to want to make it. So it's been finding in both sides of the shows that I'm making what excites me and what is going to kind of make me want to come in and create. So with the studio side, I'm focusing a lot on character design and stories because I absolutely love that. I've always been inspired by that. So I'm doing kind of like this more narrative, focusing on storytelling, whereas with the graphic design, I'm really focusing on kind of my process and making everything look as good as I can because I have my whole body of work in my 4 years here to pull from.
I specifically work with like a ton of layers because I like having control over kind of what goes where. But there are some people that if they want to like mimic painting, they'll do multiple layers or just like one flat color, and then it mimics painting because you're just working on one, but layers are kind of like layers of paint, but you can just kind of adjust things a lot easier. And a lot of times I'll do multiple layers for something that I want to mess with, like any type of proportions or things that might be in front of the other. That's normally when I'll like make a new layer. Or if it's just something that I'm not really confident on, I'll put a different type of like layer just so that I can mess around with color or proportion or anything like that.
This collection that I'm making now will be available at the senior show April 12th. The reception is 4 to 7 at the Thorn Art Gallery. And if you want to find me online, I have an Instagram at Boudreau Designs, Boudreau_designs, excuse me. I don't have much posted there yet, but it's going to kind of be where I'm posting my art here at school and then more when I graduate.
Cool. Well, thank you. Thank you for doing kind of the interview.
Of course.